Welcome everyone, and thank you Soumyadeep for joining us today. By way of introduction, I'm Naman from the Byte Plus team. At Byte Plus, we've been democratizing technology built by the ByteDance group and offering it to enterprises globally. Over the last year and a half, we've built out some breakthrough generative media models. Many might be aware of Seedance and Seedream, but some of our power clients come from the short drama and media industry, one of which is Dashverse. The short drama industry, especially outside China, has been growing rapidly. We've been hearing numbers like $10 billion approaching in revenue purely from outside China. China, of course, being multiple times bigger in the short drama space purely, but having said that, the non-China market is growing very rapidly and inching closer to the China revenue. So I'd love to hear from Soumya as well. What do you do at Dashverse? And we'll then get into it.
Hi, I'm Soumyadeep, one of the co-founders and CTO at Dashverse. So at Dashverse, we actually are practically a two-sided platform. We make Dash Reels, which is a consumer app for consuming short drama. Dash Reels is in India only right now and growing super fast with engagement of around 70 minutes per user per day, which is crazy. And most of our content is created using our creators tool with AI called Framio, which is powered by Seedance and Seedream. And the idea was always to democratize storytelling, and we started with short drama as a platform because that was growing, and Framio enables us to create short drama really fast and cater to the audience who's consuming this amount of short drama every day.
So to put it simply, it's Framio, the creation platform, and Dash Reel, which is a distribution platform.
Correct.
Right? Tell us something about some of the shows that have gone viral or some of your super hits over the last few years.
Sure. So, it's been an interesting journey since the last one and a half years since we started Dash Reels, right? So first, we were always very opinionated on that we will make content only with AI. And we started with our first show in around August, September. This is pre-Seedream, Seedance, in fact. It was a really hard job to make content then. But we did that. And one of the things that we saw is that the kind of content we can make with AI, even then, we needed to be different from all the drama and romance that everyone was making. We made a racing action show called Raftar, which was our first, which is probably the world's first short drama or a 60-minute content.
Wow.
That we made in August. Since then, that was one show we made in August, and now I think in May we are making close to 50 shows and growing.
50 shows in a month.
Yes, 50 shows in a month, and likely 100 in June. So that's been the journey and been super exciting. The way we look at the shows is that we are not trying to compete with what live action can do, because of course you can be far more emotional with it. And whereas we look at content which cannot be done with live action for the consumption that short drama enables. So we do a lot more fantasy. We have a show that around an Indian, it's called Shivai, which is a rethinking of a mythological Indian god. And in fact, that show has got crossed 150 million views in TikTok outside India.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's
150 million views in a month, in a quarter.
I think that was the first month.
That's mad.
I have stopped tracking. So yeah, and then there are many shows, and we've gone further deeper into the mythology context for India, and now into a more fantasy context for US. That's what we focus on.
So is your thesis that so those 9 tropes of a live action will exist independently, while maybe 20 tropes of AI will exist in its own market?
Yeah, we do think that the way audiences, this enables us to unlock audience who didn't get to short drama, because everyone, those 9 tropes are not for everyone. I as a consumer, I'm not a consumer of those 9 tropes. So there are some many action, true crime, fantasy, romantasy tropes which open up with AI, and yeah, that'll unlock far larger audiences.
Talk to us about how you go from, say, an idea to a full-fledged AI-generated show. And I'm guessing there's no hybrid or live action involved.
We don't do live hybrid. So the way we think about this is we are a very like we call ourselves a very analytical company, not as much as a creative company.
Deep tech.
Yeah, likely. So the way we go from here is that we have a concept. Like for example, if someone came up with that we need to make a show around this mythological god. So we come with a concept. We first actually make a ad for it, and then test the ad very very fast, and very very different variations of the ad on the social media platforms, and see what is sticking well with the consumer. Then we go back, and with AI this cycle is really fast because we create, so to give you some sense, we create close to 100 minutes of ad a day and test them
It's a
out.
show. That's a complete show.
Yeah, correct. That's a complete show. And this is a different from my shows. And then whatever works, we send it back, and then we commission 5 episodes, test them again on the app. If it's still working, then we commission the entire show, which is around 60 to 70 episodes. And that's how we make content. And because of our entire loop, the tool, the AI, everything, this entire thing happens, like the entire show gets done in a month after testing.
So day one, you start with creating promos.
Yeah.
You test it out. If it works well, week 2 you would get into creating, say, 5.
Correct. 5 to 10 episodes.
5 to 10 episodes. Week 3 you will just go live with.
And every time we are dropping things, right? Like there is a funnel. Like if we can test 100 concepts or promos, we'll probably be making only 10 of them for first 10 episodes, and then we probably will go and make 5 of them for the entire show, because we are testing it continuously, seeing that what works with the consumer, and then keep doing this cycle more number of times.
Amazing. And how has Seedance 2.0 shrunk the production cycles for you? Because I remember when we talked 6 months ago, you used to talk a lot about image models, right? Seedream is helping you with some storyboarding, and right after Seedance 2.0 came out, we saw some of your Seedream usage dip. So talk to us about how Seedance 2.0 changed some of your workflows as well.
Right. So since I said, right, we started in around August was our first show, right? And the way we figured at that point of time way to make a show is because the video models were less powerful. We would get full control from images. Like we would make, like for every shot we would make 2 to 3 images, and then control the animation with the video models, and keep doing this n number of times. It would take a very long time because your images also need to be perfect for this to work, and you're far more sensitive to this. So that was the journey we were on. So at best, using this process, in February we made 10 shows
This year, February.
This year, February, we made 10 shows.
Okay.
Right? Seedance, I think we got in March. And
you were one of our early partners,
right,
as well.
And I think in April, we suddenly saw a jump because the multiple things got solved actually. One is we did not need images for every shot, because Seedance understood references really well and consistency really well, and it enabled us that we need less perfect images, and only the consistency needs were needed for images, like a character, a location, or a prop, right? The second thing that Seedance did with this that enabled us is to get into a more agentified form of a tool. Like Frameo today versus Frameo 3 months back also looks completely different.
Oh, really?
So because now with the reference way that our agent can decide that, okay, this is how I want to do the shot, and the creator just talks about the creative part of it and enables the creator to make more shots. So with that, we today, like yesterday's number would be that one person makes around 2 episodes a day, which is like around 2 minutes of final content a day with our agentified storytelling plus Seedance. And sometimes we still need images because there are really hard shots where you need more control with images.
Because it's not gone down to
Yeah.
zero. There's still some image usage on your platform. For our audience, right, Seedance 2.0 has changed video gen workflows with references, with consistencies, and by enabling agentic workflows a lot more seamlessly, right? In terms of references, the model is not just about text to video or image to video anymore. It's about multimodal references. What that means is you can give a text prompt, an image prompt, a video reference, and an audio reference all in one go. And what that does for creative artists, directors, is that you get a very predictable output. Uh, Gone are the days where the model hallucinates or you have to give it 10 attempts to get what you really want. So, in terms of referenceability, what the model gives to the creator is predictability. In terms of consistency, I want to get a bit deeper into this. How are you able to ensure consistency? Is it by building your workflows a certain way, or do you think the model also retains some memory?
So the model is really good at retaining consistency for the duration of the generation the model does, right? For example, Seedance does from 3 to 15 seconds, and the model retains consistency really well in that. So that part the model handles, but because we make like our shows are 60 minutes long, right? So which is when our agentified tooling helps, because now the tool helps us remember is what is needed to be consistent, so that the right information can go to the model more often. And that's where both the layers stand for us.
So, is there a secret sauce in there, or you can talk about it?
It's not that secret. I think most, like, the coding world already has seen this happen, where making code or agentified coding or pipe coding, as we call it, is got really popular, right? And my sense is we will see the same with storytelling. And because now with model as so, even coding saw this jump after, I think, Opus 3.7, right? And that's what we think that we're going to see with Seedance too, that storytelling will get super easy. And with a good agentified harness around it, which is what we have built, like, you can practically make a lot of good content, whatever you want, really fast. So that's there's no secret sauce. It's basically think Claude Code for storytelling.
Makes sense. And you mentioned that the barrier to entry for creating content using Seedance 2 has been lowered significantly. Where does a Framio come in, right? What kind of market expertise do you bring in which caters to the microdrama industry?
Right. So as I said, Framio is at the base. Framio is trying to be whatever Cloud Code for storytelling, but we are very, very hyper focused on microdrama, at least right now, because that itself is a large market, and there are far deeper needs of storytelling from the script angle, which is on the beats and the cliffhangers and the hooks which are needed for a good short drama story, and then the character design, what kind of character design works, and then enabling the creator to think more deeply around this entire loop that I talked about, that, like, where did the audience like it, what did the audience did not like it, and bringing it back to the creative storytelling part. So this is what Framio owns, and this is what enables us to grow really fast.
Talk to us about the velocity right now. How many shows? You mentioned 50, 100. What's the ambition? What are you shooting for?
Sure, I'll actually start with why velocity, right? So our thesis has been around short drama is less like a Netflix, but closer to a Instagram Reels or TikTok from a consumer emotion angle. Like, for them, it's a very ephemeral piece of content. They will finish it in one setting, and then they likely forget about it, right? So if we go by this thesis, we realize that the only way that we retain a lot of consumers is that they get content and fresh content really, really fast and really, really often. And I think China has already proven that Chinese market is creating close to 5,000 to 10,000 short dramas a month at this moment for Honguo. And
And the overall industry, by the way, is almost 500 per day from
correct.
what I've heard.
Right. So that's the scale that we would want to get to at some point of time. And our aim this year is to get to like a 500 shows a month velocity at least. And yeah, that should take us, at least get us to win the India market easily and then think global.
That's very cool, right? I think, according to me, Dashverse seems to be one of the biggest platforms that is producing AI native short dramas outside China. Is that true?
Likely, yeah.
That's so cool, right? So talk to us about pre-Seedance and post-Seedance. You talked about how workflows changed significantly, and Framio as a tool looks very different. Does it change anything for your customers, your end users?
Yeah, so totally. So pre-Seedance, the way our creative pod looked like was one producer, one creative person with at least 4 image artists and 4 video artists or animators, right? That is what it looked like. So there was a lot of collaboration that would happen, and there was a lot of iterations that would take place, and this loop would take a lot of time. Now this has reduced to 1 image artist, 1 animation artist, and 1 producer. So the loop has really tightened, and we are way faster at reaching the quality that we need. So that has changed completely, and it changes how. And my sense is that once both with the next generation of the Seedance model, with more work on the Framio platform, my sense is that we will easily get to a place where a storyteller can alone tell a 60 minutes of story with the velocity that they want. And yeah, like we'll see far more stories and far more engaging stories at that moment.
Amazing. We talked about Seedance's referenceability, consistency, and agentic capabilities. Let's talk about the realism, right? We hear a lot of our clients are creating content which is very close to live action, but it seems like it's still not 100% there. Right? How are end users of microdramas consuming AI generated content? There seems to be a decent adoption in China itself. How is the adoption in India, in US, in Europe? Perhaps you can start with where you serve microdramas.
So when we look deeply, you can still figure out that the videos are whatever AI generated at some point, right? But when we look at engagement numbers, and we do a lot, like our core like thesis that we have first proven in August last year only was that can a AI microdrama versus a live action short, same microdrama, even have the same numbers? And we actually proved that in August itself. That was our first thesis that we needed to prove.
And generative media was very early
Correct.
in August last
Correct. And it, like, if you see that show today, it's horrible. But like even then, the engagement numbers were way better than the live action, purely because of things that you can show far more detail. Like while the screenplay remains the same, but the detailing, the world building can be really, really different, right? So consumers, though, whether they know it's live action or not, I don't think it matters. Consumers care about a good story, and if they are getting a good story at the right price, they will consume it anyway.
What are the trends like? Does adoption differ by country that you're serving, or for different genres?
So we do see that actually we haven't seen. So we serve both India and US right now, and we haven't seen any adoption difference there. But we do see that the numbers are vastly better when the stories are more non real, like it's fantasy or action or something. There, of course, consumers are far more
Receptive.
receptive than pure romance. But the delta from a business, actually, we haven't seen much impact there.
Got it. Would love to get into what Frameo is, right? Would love to see the workflow itself in for real, right? How does it go from start to end in terms of creating a complete shot?
Sure, let's play the first video.
These guys still spend millions and months to make films like this?
What? You think this is easy?
Cinema, it's literally in my hand. Hey Frameo, change the location to home. That's crazy. Start with a script, and boom. Frameo directly creates stunning videos powered by Seedance 2.0.
That's actually insane.
And see here, one person creates the shot, another one edits the next scene, and one more person can review videos simultaneously. In Frameo, nobody waits for anything.
Bro, this feels like the future.
Did you hear about Remix?
No?
Watch this.
Nah, this is literally cheating.
High-quality cinematic visuals right in my hand.
The future of storytelling starts now.
That looked like a very cool demo. Talk to us about what just happened.
Sure. So the way we have built the tool, it's an agentified storytelling tool where like the idea is that you close the distance between thought and the outcome, right, for a storyteller. So which is why we have like an infinite canvas on which you can brainstorm, you can work as creatively as you can, powered by a agentified workflow, agentified aspect where you can create characters, then make sure that whenever you're creating a shot, one shot, two shot, n shots, they are consistent. And then the story references are stored by the tool itself so that the creator does not have to think about continuity to the detailing that even in live action is needed. And then you can keep iterating, you can make many versions, you can do whatever you can imagine. And the tool with Seedance and Seedream will make sure that the tooling aspect of production is abstracted from you.
If I were to go to a general purpose platform like CapCut today, right, versus a Frameo, how long will it take me on Frameo versus how long you think it might take on a general purpose platform?
Frameo, we do this experiment also, like we are as analytical as we can get. So like with our Frameo, we are, as I said, one artist is creating 2 episodes per day. On CapCut, likely this number is 1 episode in 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
Likely mostly because there's a lot of heavy lifting, or rather I would call it a lot of production baggages that a person needs to keep in their head while doing this in a CapCut or like any generic tool, whereas we take away that production baggage and give full power to the creative aspect of it.
So it's not just saving time. My quick math suggests that Frameo saves 80 to 90% of time which a general creator would take on Frameo for creating a microdrama, but also the baggage of I guess remembering storylines.
Yeah, a lot of things like the character, the specific aspects, that this is how the room looked in when it came in scene 1, and at scene 10 the room has to be the same because it's the same room, right? So all of these aspects are something that, so there are it's called continuity producer in a live action movie, right? So those things are not needed because the tool will do for you, right? And what this enables more than just time is that the creator can be far more creative. They don't have to be bogged down by the operations of it. And they can be like, let me make 4 versions of this and see what looks best, right? That was never possible before.
Very interesting. Let's get into the creator itself. Who are these creators? Are they live action directors who've just started using tools, or is this a completely different skill set?
Right. At least from a microdrama segment, most creative part of microdrama is the script writing, right? So most of our creative people are script writers. And we have empowered script writers to start being able to make an entire short drama, which was not possible before, right? At least in the micro drama segment. But many other segments that, like, while we focus a lot more on micro drama, there are fair amount of creators who use us for ads.
Okay.
And those people are people who used to be creative directors or producers who make ads, and they have taken more power into their own hands by doing more hands-on themselves instead of always needing to hire for a team to do production and this and that.
Is there a difference between how many people and time it would take to create a live action versus an AI?
Yeah, insanely different. For a live action, like if I decide that, so firstly, as I talked about the process, right? That you can make like a promo, 5 episodes, then keep testing, and then the full show, right? In live action, the way things work is very different. The way things would work is you will commission the entire show. So you need far more conviction on the concept than what I need with AI, right? I can test more, right? But it will take 30 to 45 days for the show to come. Then you will test it, you will cut it into pieces to test the promo. And let's say for a promo, you need a different scene, you can't do that because it's done, right? And so the loop is far loose, right? Which is one part of it. Other than that, like we create whatever, 14 to 20 days is when we create an entire show.
14 to 20 days.
Yeah, versus 45 days in live action.
I was just talking to someone a few days ago, and they said the entire industry will change as soon as AI short dramas can be produced in 2 to 3 weeks. And it seems like you're already there.
Yeah, definitely. Like we are doing, and my sense is we should be able to reach a week in like a few months.
Powered by Seedance 2. Or maybe the future version.
Likely 3.
Yes, we are, for our audience, we are coming out with Seedance 2.5 very, very soon. Having said that, would love to go to Seedance 2.0 and get into some of the problem statements that this model solved for you. What was the biggest pain point earlier which you feel has been solved?
Right. So for a good storytelling, you need far more control, right? Like you want, the creators are very opinionated on that this is how a shot needs to be, right? And the way to do that before, because the video models were never good, was that you make a very, very detailed image and many images, and then you use whatever first frame, middle frame, last frame, first frame, last frame, or some combination of that to get that shot out. But with Seedance 2, because the adherence to prompt and consistency is so good, you can get 80% of those shots directly from a reference to video. And that enables, that's what, like, it's, that itself is what enables you to have an agentic video production pipeline. And that is what gives superpower to anyone to be able to tell a good story.
Right. And in terms of creating global content, right, is there a nuance there as well? Do you think the model is capable of creating content that is as per a global audience's taste, or do you have to do something in your workflows to ensure that it appeals to masses?
So for English, the model is pretty good. We have tried Portuguese and Spanish also. On that also the model is pretty good. Hindi, the model is not as great yet.
Right.
And for that, we do have to do another layer of lip sync and audio with audio so that the Hindi gets perfect. But my sense is that will get fixed soon.
Yes, we are going to fix some of the Indian language capabilities in the upcoming versions of Seedance as well. In terms of the workflow itself, is it that previously you needed multiple people to create a single drama, and now because you need fewer people, you're able to repurpose the same set of, say, image designers to now do more video?
Yeah, totally. Like, it's not like we have increased people to increase our throughput.
Okay.
We have got far more productive is how we have increased throughput. The number of people has been the same since February for us.
Interesting. until 3 months or 4 months ago, right, while I'm not the typical consumer of microdrama myself, whenever I would watch a microdrama, it would be very obvious when after that 8-second or 10-second mark, you know that the creator created a second shot and just stitched it. Seedance 2.0 solved it with the extend video capability. But can you talk about the workflow as well? I'm guessing that you might have solved parts of it previously as well. And did Seedance help you make it?
Yeah. So Seedance gave us control over shot length in a far more controllable fashion, right? Like I can give the input of that this shot needs to be 3 seconds, this shot needs to be 5 seconds, up to 15 seconds, right? And that gives me far more leeway as to like how continuous a shot is supposed to look, and that is super valuable in a storytelling setting. Like, of course, like getting to 1 minute would be great, but I think as we increase this, you stop seeing those jarring shortcuts that we had to do before.
Right. Even in previous versions of Seedance, right, Seedance 1.0, Seedance 1.5, our overall guiding principle has been that we give more and more control to those who use the model. And while there have been a general consensus in just letting create 4 seconds, 8 seconds, or 12-second long clips as outputs, Seedance 1.5 would let you create anywhere from 3 seconds to 12-second long clips in a continuous fashion. So you could create a 4-second long and 12-frame long clip. The guiding principle being the same, that the director should be able to tell the model how long the clip should be. And that solved some part of what short drama creators also wanted, which is quick switches from one frame to another. But now with Seedance 2.0, what I'm hearing is that within that same prompt, you're able to say, hey, from 1 second to 3 seconds, do this. 4 second to 8 second, do this. And now you don't need multiple prompts. Is that right?
Yeah, totally. Like, so depending on how much continuity the scene needs, right? So we often do multi-shot generations with Seedance also, because that is perfect continuity. In those cases, the continuity is perfect. But whenever you cut, the continuity breaks for some while, right? So like that's what if Seedance 3 decides to give longer, it will give a much more coherent experience.
Right. So in terms of asks, what I'm hearing is longer outputs. What else?
I think we are, I think I'm very clear on them. One of them is longer because that gives me more control. The second is likely more around regional edits, because sometimes we've got the shot which is almost perfect, but there is one area in that shot that is not great. Right. So regional edits. And of course, a little more realism will probably get us beyond we'll probably start getting into places where romance is also a doable category. So yeah, I think because more control and more realism, that's what we all want.
Right. And despite some of these asks, I've watched a bunch of Dash Reels content. Some of these shows are actually amazing, right? It's very hard for me to also tell that this is truly AI generated. I'd love for the audience to watch some of your content as well.
Sure.
They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on. अरे ओ टांगे वाले! आप सोच रहे होंगे मैं कौन?
देवव्रत, तुम्हारी शिक्षा अब पूरी हो चुकी है.
You are nothing without me. I want them dead.
मैं एक शहजादी से कभी नहीं हार सकता.
Why the hell did you lie to me?
Patty, what's going on? Where is Cassie?
My wife tried to kill a child?
What?
congratulations on creating so many short dramas and very good storytelling. I'm sure given some of these have crossed 150 million views on various platforms, including TikTok. Which ones are you the biggest fan of personally?
I think there's a show which is yet to be launched, and I think there was a clip from it called Ravan, which is probably the best that I have seen
in terms of.
Yeah, it's also an interesting concept because it's a story about reincarnation of this of Ravan, who is a mythological villain in one of our myths, Indian epics, and like he's been portrayed in a more anti-hero fashion, so which is very interesting.
Amazing. And are audiences outside India also watching Indian mythological?
Yeah, a lot. Like the one which we talked about, which is a Shivai, which is a mythology show, is like most of the views are outside India on TikTok.
Right, of course. Why do you think non-Indian audiences watching such shows?
So I think historically Indian history and mythology has really good stories and storytelling, and it was almost impossible for them to travel outside India because of one, product distribution limitations, two, production budgets, three, like language was a major barrier, right? With AI, the production budget has stopped. With the likes of a TikTok and short drama platforms across the world, the distribution has been solved. So the only, and like with this, these stories can travel far more, and and now we can very easily also change languages without it hampering the storytelling. So that enables Indian stories to go global really, really well.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that, right? You also mentioned earlier backstage that you're doing a bit of anime and 2D content as well.
Right.
Do you have something to show us on that?
Yeah, totally. You can play the. So we have a lot. So we create a lots of content based on whatever the creator wants, and yeah. So we'll show a episode of a recent show that we are working with Harley Quinn on.
Okay.
Mother, how many times do I have to tell you?
You listen to me. You might be king, but you're still my son. It's been years, Alex. You cannot keep living in solitude. People are starting to cast aspersions. The kingdom needs a queen, and you must secure an heir.
Your Majesty, the gala is starting.
Look at her. The lady has quite a presence.
That's not just anyone. That's Reina Devereaux.
The young CEO from Brooklyn? Impressive. Beauty and brains. No wonder everyone's talking about her.
Still can't believe I'm pretending to be my sister in front of a king.
Regina, just remember, you're saving our company. We need this deal to turn our business into billions.
I know. I'll pitch the hell out of us.
You got this.
You look like you need one. Care for one more?
Would you, darling? That'd be great.
Great. That looked as good as a live action, but for anime. Easier to create one versus the other, or is there similar amount of complexity involved?
It's similar now. Like
Okay.
the way I think we got inspired for AI content and the workflow from how the animation industry has historically worked, because it looks like, especially when we were doing image to video more often, right? Like it is how that, like, every time we have always done this, that you create images and then you animate those images. So we've inspired heavily from the animation industry.
And so are your roots, right?
Correct.
From Dashtoon to
That's
Dashverse.
true. Yeah.
Let's talk about how some of your business metrics changed after you integrated Seedance and started working with our models, perhaps in terms of production time spent, in terms of perhaps revenue contribution as well, which these models are able to indirectly do for you.
Sure. So from a revenue standpoint, I think historically we've always been content starved, right? Like we would love to grow on more pieces of content. We would love to give more content to our consumers, but we've always been starved of that till I think May, when we created 50 shows. But even now, I think we are starved because, as I said, 500 is the bare minimum according to me that is needed for the scale at which we are at. And like,
so the number of stories is not a problem. It's the ability to churn out those videos.
Correct. Because as I had said, this is closer to a TikTok or an Instagram Reels than Netflix. So it's less about the library, more about how much fresh piece of content you can give your consumers, right? And how often. So like the entire business metrics are practically driven by two major things: is how much can I grow on a show, which is directly proportional to the novelty of a show, right? And novelty is almost related to freshness. And the second is retention, which is how long a person or how often a consumer is opening the app, which is again directly proportional to how many shows we keep giving the user, how much fresh shows we keep giving the user. So everything boils down to production at the end of the day.
Right. And I hope that we continue to contribute more and more and sort of integrate more deeply into your ecosystem, which empowers not just you, but your creators as well, right? It's a complete loop where your creators are creating the content, publishing it on not just Dash Reels, but also TikTok. And users like ourselves are able to enjoy great content.
Totally.
In terms of 500 shows per month, is it a distant reality or is it getting there? What would it take to get to 500 shows a month?
I think 500 is a very, very realistic goal that we have, and we probably will hit it in the next few months anyway. It's just like there is just a ramp up period. It's not distant. The way we think is that I think it'll become far harder after that, because how do you get 500 good concepts, right? And which is when we think that we have to push the pedal on more creator GTM for our tool, so that there are more creators that we can have, and then they bring their own concepts and it's not fully controlled by us.
Yeah. And at Byte Plus, we are focusing largely on three directions, right? It's longer, coherent videos, your first task. Second is stronger multi-character coherence, so that you don't have to build a lot of secret sauces into a tool, and the model itself is sort of capable of achieving at least part of what gets you to 500 or more shows a month. And deeper integration with studio pipelines. In fact, we are in the process of hiring a lot of AI-first filmmakers ourselves who can enable studios such as maybe your creators who can get up to speed with how to use Seedance a lot more quickly and a lot more easily. And with that, it's a win-win, right? Your creators create content faster, you get access to that content as well, and we enjoy higher usage of our models. And would love to sort of recap from your end as well. I'm hearing fewer people needed to create a single show, which means greater velocity in terms of production volumes, higher quality of content in terms of more realism, the ability to do multi-language content, and the ability to create nuanced content for various geographies. And finally, I think we can also touch upon a bit on the cost because we haven't gotten into it just yet. And then perhaps we'll wrap up. We constantly hear from our clients that, hey, Seedance 2.0 is, or rather, Seedance is not a cheap model anymore. But at the same time, it's a very premium model, right? In terms of the outputs that the model is able to generate. How do you think the model fits into your unit economics right now?
Sure. Firstly, the way to look at costs would be what are we comparing it to? Because for us, we are comparing it to live action production. In that case, any AI is going to be strictly better whether it is an expensive model or a cheap model, right? Because like at least for a American audience, a show takes like 150K to 200K to make in live action, right? That will take around what 20K on pessimistically with Frameo and Seedance, right? So that's a big jump, right? But of course, like because now we are creating so much, right? You start looking at costs differently, which is when Seedance is probably my greatest cost at this moment. But my sense is that will improve like as we scale more and as we see more. But like the costs from a live action, we are at like what a 10% of that anyway.
Right.
So like and it's only getting better from here.
Of course. And one other angle that we hear from our clients is that it takes fewer iterations to get to the predictable output.
Right.
Right. Just because of how controllable the model has made it for end users to create content. What used to take 5 or 10 attempts previously now takes 1 attempt. And that perhaps also solves some part of the cost inhibitions.
Yeah, definitely. Like our numbers are like so the way our costs have changed is that 70% of our cost was human before, because most of the time would go in just 10 to 15 attempts, right? The model costs were cheaper then.
Right.
Whereas now it has flipped completely. Right now 70% of our cost is the tech cost of it, and 30% is manpower, because humans are now just directing, and everything, all the heavy lifting is done by the models and the orchestration. So that is how it has changed, and often tech costs reduce faster than human costs.
Right. We hope to continue to work closely, right? We see Frameo and Dashverse and Dashreel as a very strategic partner of Byte Plus, and also collaborating very closely in improving the model's capabilities themselves. Because we hear you, right? We hear you when you come back to us with feedback related to the to models, and you'll see some of those critical gaps being filled in the upcoming version later this week with the new version of Seedance. So that's it from my end. Anything, any parting thoughts, Soumya?
No, thank you. Thanks for inviting me here. It was a great conversation, and everyone, please check out Dashreels and Frameo.
Thank you.